What's up, everybody? It's Jacob. If you're new here, I talk a little bit about everything, and if you like that, stick around a little longer. In today's video, I want to get into some user comments. Well, actually one, in particular on one video. Last week, I did a video on how Doge is not going to be able to clean up the real problem with Medicare. Now, while there is a lot of waste in the billing, and it's already come out. I called it in the video. It's already coming out that there's been a lot of billing fraud. So I called that one. But the big thing about the video is that there's a law in place that prevents Medicare from negotiating prices with pharmaceutical companies. And until that law is changed, a lot of the suck on the taxpayer money is not going to go away at the Medicare level. So I got this comment from Miles that I want to go over. Why do you need to reduce the cost in a market economy where the federal government has an inexhaustible money supply? Oh, we're going to talk about that. Oh, Miles, we're going to talk about that. Market economies are supposed to grow. That's why the government is an internet exhaustible. Not sure what he's saying there. A shrinking economy is a bad economy. That's true. Someone has to spend their money. Government spending should be kept low so it doesn't compete with the public. That's Market Economics 101. Oh, Miles. We're definitely going to do Economics 101. Let me switch over here. No, the government does not have an inexhaustible supply of money, okay? I don't know where you get this opinion from, but a lot of politicians certainly have this idea in their head. The modern monetary theory where you just print money and everything else will just work itself out. So I asked a basic AI, just a really basic question. Does the US government have an inexhaustible supply of money? No. The US government does not have an inexhaustible supply of money. While it has the ability to create money through the Federal Reserve, which is neither federal nor a reserve, that's a whole different video, and borrow by issuing treasury bonds, so there's that shell game creating debt to make the dollars, right? There are limits to how much it can do without negative consequences. The key factors that constrain government spending include 1, inflation. Printing too much money devalues the currency and leads to inflation, which can destabilize the economy. And the other side of that coin is if you print a lot of money and your productivity doesn't go up to match that printing, that's one factor. It's not the whole, pie. If production doesn't go up along with the increase in the money supply, the inflation, that's a multiplier on the inflation. Debt levels, number 2. The government borrows money by selling bonds, but excessive debt can lead to higher interest rates and economic instability. Does that sound familiar to you? That sounds awfully familiar. 3, political constraints. Congress controls government spending through the budget process. Oh, okay. Maybe in the law, but they sure don't act like it. And political disagreements can limit how much money is allocated to different programs. Yeah, let's just call that kickbacks. Confidence in the dollar, number 4. If investors lose confidence in the US dollar due to excessive money creation or borrowing, it could lead to a financial crisis. And this is why you get things like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, BRICS. The confidence in the dollar is dissolving because we're farting around printing all this extra money, right? And I'll get into a little more, what's going on there. While the government has significant financial flexibility, especially compared to individuals or businesses, it is not limitless. Economic and political realities impose constraints on how much money it can create and spend. So technically, it is unlimited, but it's bad. It's bad to do that. All right. So I would caution you against thinking that way, Miles. It's very, very, very dangerous. So getting to your point, Miles, here where you were saying that the government spending should be kept low. I agree with that. So it doesn't compete with the public. But there's this thing with competing with the public. Free market, right? So that led me to ask the AI, which was the whole point of my video, that the law that was passed that makes it illegal for Medicare to negotiate prices with pharmaceutical companies led me to ask this question in the AI. If a law is passed to forbid price negotiation in a specific industry, is that industry still a free market? The AI answers no. If a law forbids price negotiation in a specific industry, that industry is no longer operating as a fully free market. A free market is characterized by voluntary exchanges, where prices are determined by supply and demand without government intervention. If price negotiation is legally restricted, it means the government is imposing constraints on market participants, which is a form of regulation. This could lead to several consequences. One, reduced competition. And boy, that's the whole point of that clause where they're making it illegal to negotiate. Pharmaceutical companies want to keep the competition down to a bare minimum. That's why there was all that stuff in there about having generic medicines, if they exist, and what happens when they do and they don't exist. If businesses cannot negotiate prices, larger firms or monopolies may dominate, reducing competitive pricing. That sound familiar? Distorted market signals. Prices serve as signals in a free market. Restricting negotiation could lead to inefficiencies, such as artificially high or low prices. Potential for government-set prices. If negotiation is forbidden, price-setting mechanisms may shift toward regulatory control, moving the industry closer to a command economy model. So actually, what happened with the law was the exact opposite of this. They didn't set the prices or do price fixing. They just let the lobbyists in the medical industry or pharmaceutical industry were so strong, they made it so they could write a blank check. I mean, that's even worse. It's crazy. While the industry might still have some market-driven elements, restricting price negotiations make it a regulated market rather than a truly free one. So yeah, I was just very concerned by your comment, because a lot of politicians, they're just operating like there's unlimited money supply. And then on top of that, you have all the graft, all the corruption, money laundering, all kinds of things going on that's adding to the inflation. A lot of the money printing going on is going to pay for all these programs that are leading to the money laundering, graft, and corruption. Okay? So that's the other aspect of it. So I saw that comment and I felt like I just had to say something, because this attitude is at so many levels in the government. And, let me give you an example. If a business fails to meet the market, never mind it's stealing from customers or graft or fraud or whatever, to have an analogy to what a lot of the waste is going on in the government is. But let's just say a company can't meet the market demands. What happens to it? It goes out of business. It lays off all the employees. They close their doors, sell off all the assets. CEO probably gets a golden parachute though. He's always covered. But what happens when a government agency doesn't meet the needs or is a failure? What happens to that? It still operates. They don't close the doors. They just keep going. So, it's been long overdue to go through and just clean all that crap out of there. So yes, Doge comes across as being a little heavy-handed, but I don't think people really realize how deep, how entrenched the corruption, the graft, and the money laundering has been going on for decades. It's been going on for a very long time and nobody's done anything. I've talked about this in other videos before. There's something fundamentally wrong when it costs several $1 million to run as like a congressman or a senator. Never mind the cost, the astronomical cost to run to become the president, just to be in the legislature. The amount of money it costs to get into office for a six-figure job, that doesn't make sense. Why would somebody have to pay millions of dollars to just get a six-figure job? Something doesn't add up. And My idea is that they are basically proving that they're not going to rock the boat while they go and get a seat at the trough and suck off the tit of the government. And that's what's been happening this whole time. And, you know, thank goodness that Doge has come in, and the people that are screaming, it's no surprise. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, comment below, and until the next one, peace.